Hello, fellow practical spirits. Elizabeth here. I know it's been a minute since I posted, but I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about prediction or lack of prediction, right? Like maybe you've had a reading before and it didn't come true, or it did come true, and you're like, how do they know that? I will say that this is my least favorite question when I get, when I have clients come in for readings, and the question is, am I going to XYZ, right? Or is he going to XYZ? We don't control people. We all have free will. I do believe that that's true. We do set ourselves up for certain things. But I want to talk about how prediction works. And I want to tell you a story. My sister was going through some hard times. It's a very long story, but the point is, I was very worried that she was going to pass. And so I went to a reader, a very good reader, one who I respect quite a lot. And I asked her, like, how is this going to turn out? Like, where are we headed? Is she going to figure things out? And she had said that yes, she is going to figure things out, and she's going to get her life straightened out, and get on a better path. Anyway, 9 months later, she passed. My sister passed, and I thought, okay, does that mean the reader was wrong, or does that mean that things had not been solidified yet? And what I mean by this is, prediction is based on action, right? You have 1,000, maybe 10,000 decisions a day. You're doing different actions. It takes you down a different path. It's like a choose your own adventure book, right? So when I think about my sister, I think about at that point in time, did she have options to change her path? Yes, she did. She didn't choose those options, and we ended up where we ended up. Prediction is based on action, like I said, and most people's actions are reactions or their habits, right? So when you come into a reading, the reader may be picking up on your energy during your talk. It's very obvious that maybe you've done the same things over and over again. So there's an 80% chance that you're probably going to do the same thing in the future, right? But you could do anything you want. So we're not predicting as much as maybe uncovering options for you based on, if you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this is most likely to happen. But I want you to understand that, in my opinion, the future is soup, right? We are constantly making the future, changing the future, tweaking the future. So it's very hard to predict things. There is a theory that everything happens, past, present, future, all lives, all of that, in one instant. That's interesting. I know it's kind of mind-bending to think that way. But if that's true, maybe, again, we're not predicting as much as uncovering things, right? You've already set your options, and let's kind of look how that's going to play out. So what makes predictions easier? Think of everything, situations, people, animals, all energetic beings and activity being on a spider web, right? So we're all on a spider web, and when we do an action or when somebody else does an action, it reverberates and we feel that reaction. Things that are, or people that are closer to us in time and in relationship are easier to predict, right? So say, for example, you had Nostradamus, right, who predicted big, life-changing events, worldly events. Those are easier to predict than, is John going to cross the street tomorrow at 3 o'clock? I have no idea, right? But when major energies, there's a lot of energy involved, it's easier to predict, politics, what the United States is going through right now with our current president. Based on his actions, based on how many people it affects, it's easier to predict. So you can predict the bigger things, like, yes, we're going through an economic upheaval. Yes, I do feel like, this regime is going to topple, or yes, this country's climate may be going through this or that. It's big energy, involves a lot of people, easier to read. How close is it in time? That's also another factor. So, for example, if you said, I live 50 miles from my work, and right outside the door of my work, there is a big tree, and I'm sitting at home 50 miles away, and I want to know, am I going to hit that tree? Well, you have 50 miles, right, to steer around that tree. So there are options there, right? So is it a foregone conclusion you're going to hit that tree? No. I mean, you can do 1,000 different things before you get 50 miles down the road to avoid that tree, right? However, if you are barreling in your car in the parking lot of your work and that tree is 20 feet away or 10 feet away and you're barreling directly at it at 60 miles an hour, you're going to hit that tree, right? That's a prediction. That's a safer prediction as opposed to, oh, you're 50 miles away. Are you going to hit that tree? Slim. Everything's a probability. There is also something, again, in that same vein called point of no return. So again, you're barreling, 60 miles an hour, 10 feet away from the tree, pointed right at it. You're kind of at the point of no return, right? As opposed to I'm farther out in time, I have options. So things that are closer to you in time, things that have bigger energy, are easier to read. And then how does it fit into your pattern of your behavior, right? Like I said, you can do whatever you want to do, 100%. But if you've continually done the same things over and over again, probability is high, right? It's very easy for me to predict that, yes, that's probably going to happen because I know you, right? Or we've talked about your history, and your history kind of dictates what you do because we are creatures of habit. So there is that as well. Are people naturally going to change their behavior? Unlikely. I mean, they can, absolutely, but most of the time people do what they're comfortable with. So that's easier to predict. Does it affect you as opposed to something completely outside of yourself? For example, if I don't know, let's say I was betting on a football game and I had a lot of money on this and it's happening in like an hour, right? Easier for me to predict because you've got some skin in the game there, so to speak, as opposed to, oh, there's a cricket match in India that I have no knowledge of. I have no skin in the game. I'm not betting on it. I'm not doing anything. It's not even in my energy field. Do you know what I'm saying? So it would be harder to read for that. Anyway, all of that to say, let's talk about your future. Let's predict together, right? Book a reading on my website, practicalspirit.net today. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you.